Chodesh Tov. So we're entering Hodesh Cheshvan, that compared to the previous Hodesh Tishrei seems very regular and mundane. After having all these chagim and peak moments, it seems very boring, and the question is there anything we could actually learn from this month? So Rav Kook explains that Kol Zman Me'ir B'Tchonato, meaning that every single time has its spiritual essence, that we have something to learn from. So I'm hoping that in the next couple minutes we can understand what lessons we have from Hodesh Cheshvan to offer us. In Parshat Noach, which we read during this month, after the flood, Noach talks to his three sons, which will be the progenitors of the human race, and he says what their dominant force in life is. Rav Hirsch explains that there's three main forces in life, which are desires, emotions, and intellect, and each one of these three sons, and later on the nations that will evolve from them, have one force leading in their life, and the other two that are subservient to that one force. Yafet's force is the desires, the lowly inclinations, and his descendants will live more of an animal-like life, whereas Yafet, is his dominant force is the emotion. From him will descend ancient Greek, which deal with art, culture, aesthetics, and beauty. And Shem's descendants, the Jewish people, their dominant force is the intellect, whereas they take all the lower forces and try to connect them to Ratzon Hashem and living a godly life. There's the pasuk that says, Yaft Elokim liyefet veishkon be'ohalei Shem, meaning that the Jewish people aren't supposed to be disconnected from all the other forces of life, but they're supposed to connect to them, but raise them and make them higher, or as Rav Hirsch explains it, L'takin olam b'malchut Hashem lo rak b'shamayim mima'al aval gam ba'aretz mitachat, meaning let's make this world olam haza holy, and by that we can transform this world into the next world, and we have no interest in disconnecting from this world, but being involved in this world, but doing so in a divine manner. It's interesting that in the Mizmor L'David Hashem that we've been saying for the past month and a half, there's the term Lulei He'emanti Lirot B'Tuv Hashem Be'eretz HaChaim. Rav Yehuda in Masechet Yoma explains the term Be'artzot HaChaim as meaning the marketplace. And by saying so, he actually teaches us that living a divine life, living a life of Shivti B'Beit Hashem, doesn't only have to be in some high spiritual realm, but it can be in the lowest places of life, even in the marketplace. And that is actually a halachic concept which says tadir ve'eno tadir, tadir kodem. Sometimes we have peak moments and we think that those are the main moments of life, but really they teach us those mundane day-to-day actions in life have a very special meaning to them. And it's interesting in a midrash cited in the introduction to Ein Yaakov, where there's a discussion what's the most important pasuk in the Torah, what pasuk kind of teaches us what the main message of the Torah is, and they say it's not Shema Yisrael, it's not Ve'ahavta L'Reacha Kamocha, but rather it's the pasuk teaching us about the Korban Tamid, the consistency, the day in, day out routine mode that has the most importance in our Jewish life, because those regular days are really build what kind of people we are, what connections we have with others, and what connection we have to Hashem. And I'll just finish off with Moshe Rabbeinu after he teaches the Aseret HaDibrot to the Jewish people, and they finish this momentous moment at Har Sinai. He tells them, the Jewish people, Vishuvu lachem le'ohalechem. We have all these great ideas. We've been through the Yamim Nora, and we've been through amazing moments of closeness to Hashem, but the real test and the real way to live a divine life is by going back to your homes, going back to school, to work, to your regular lives, and living those lives in a humble way, in a divine way, and in a godly way, bringing Olam Haza into Olam Haba. So, Bezrat Hashem, that we should really leave these high moments in every day of our next very plain but very special month, and have a good Chodesh.